Hey! For this video, we're going to be talking about our freshman year of college.
We went to two separate colleges, so we have two completely different experiences, and we're just going to talk about what both of those were like for us. Is that okay?
That sounds good to me.
Okay, disclaimer that we might ramble on and on, so sorry if this video is really long.
So the dorm that I lived in was an older dorm. It had been one of the first that was built on the campus of my college. So there's kind of some problems with it. We had a leaky window that never got fixed. Good thing was we never ran out of hot water. Always had hot water. Like really hot water. Burned myself a little bit. That hurt. Like my suite mates controlled the air and it was always cold in my room. But I like wearing sweaters, so that was okay with me. It was kind of small, but we also did not bunk our beds. We had both of our beds on the floor, so that took up quite a bit of room. But we made it work. We had the biggest closets on campus, actually, which was pretty amazing because I have a lot of stuff. I lived on a floor with the softball team, which they were kind of loud, although it wasn't like a huge problem for me because it never really bothered me. But every once in a while, a girl would run down the hall screaming at like 2 in the morning. That wasn't okay, but...
But that's every dorm.
Yeah. And it was only every once in a while, so it was okay.
For my dorm, it was also the oldest on my campus, and it's supposed to be torn down, and it really needs to be torn down because it was really disgusting. Like, ugh.
The bathroom was gross.
Yeah, she visited, and
I didn't like it at all.
I always warned people that the bathroom was gross, and they didn't believe how gross it actually was, even after we cleaned it. It was the smallest dorm as well on campus, because there was only 3, was there 3? I think there was 3 floors, and most have 4 or 5. And it was freshmen only, girls only. The size of my room, it was actually really big.
Really big.
So, like, that was great. But I think it's because we were at the end of the hall. The room was big, but my closet was really small. But it was okay because I didn't take that much clothing with me, and I just stuffed most of my stuff in my drawers. I went to a big state school, so there's drunk people everywhere, and even though it was a freshman only, you know, freshmen are going to drink. So there was drunk girls 24/7. Okay, not 24/7, but
often.
Especially at 2 a.m. when they're getting back.
2 a.m. is the
great,
time.
especially when the windows are like paper thin, so you can even hear the people that don't live in the dorm outside. It was just, who wants to sleep in college?
Nobody. Except for us, apparently.
Yeah, I'm an early bird, and all my friends would like to stay out at night, and I didn't. So that didn't work out very well. For roommates at my school, you filled out this little questionnaire, and then you could like choose who's closest to you, or like who matches closest to you, or you could just go potluck, but I chose mine, and so I think we texted like 2 or 3 times before we actually met, so we didn't know each other that well. The first time we met, it was on Sunday morning, because she texted me the night before, and she's like, is it okay if we get there at like 8 o'clock tomorrow in the morning? So I was like, okay. So I was awake, so by the time they would get there, they wouldn't wake me up, and I left the room. I went to Walmart. Yeah. I was going to say something else, but I can't remember. So that was the first time I met her. Her dad was with her, and her stepmom might have been there. I don't know. I don't remember much from last year. The creepy thing about her, okay, it wasn't really creepy, but we were like so completely similar that it kind of scared me sometimes, because we both have this issue with talking in drive-thrus.
Oh, that.
I talk in drive-thrus now, but she doesn't. And, like, I don't know, there were so many other things that we were really similar in that it just kind of freaked me out sometimes. And then what I did not like about her is when I was clearly ready for bed, I turned off the overhead light, I had my little fairy lights on, took out my contacts. That's when you know I'm actually going to bed. Every Saturday she would Skype with her boyfriend. Every Saturday. Like, she wouldn't even go out so she could stay in and Skype her boyfriend. They wouldn't start Skyping until, like, 11 o'clock at night. And we go to church the next morning, and I'm pissed off because she didn't get off of Skype until 2 in the morning. I even sent multiple Snapchats about it to Jess, so. Oh, and she had this weird thing. She, when she would, like, microwave frozen chicken, stuff steams?
Yeah.
Okay, well, she would open the microwave, and some steam would come out, and she's like, oh my gosh, the fire alarm's about to go off, so she closes it back really quick, and, like, I thought that was really weird, and she kept food too long, but I threw it out once it got too gross, and she didn't really remember, so, but I mean, besides that, I liked my roommate.
So I had a little different experience with roommate. We also filled out questionnaires, but we didn't get to choose our roommate. We were just assigned one that was, like, similar to us. And I got a roommate, and we texted, like, a bunch before, but then about, like, a month and a half before we were supposed to move in, she told me that she was unable to actually go to college, so she had to drop out. So I just got kind of whoever was left, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but we did not talk at all before we, like, moved in. I met her the day we moved in. Well, she and I preferred to be around different people, so a lot of the times she would go and hang out with her friends while I stayed in the room, so I honestly didn't really see her that much. But when we were in the room together, we never really had problems. I mean, we got along pretty well. We didn't talk a lot. We barely talked, honestly. But when we did talk, I mean, I guess it was normal.
Even when I visited, she did, like, her roommate never said a word. I helped her move in, and I'm pretty sure her roommate said, like, 2 words while I was there.
Yeah,
if even that.
She didn't really talk much, like, around me, which, I mean, didn't really bother me because I'm not all that much into talking anyways, so. I mean, we got along. We went to bed kind of at the same time, but if I was going to bed earlier, she wouldn't mind, like, having the lights off, and she would just be on her computer or whatever. I got up before her, though, although I get up before a lot of people, because I get up at 5 in the morning.
Even in the summer.
So I would get up, but I would just be quiet. I wouldn't, like, turn the light on. I'd turn a lamp on or something, so it wouldn't bother her, and yeah, I was, like, we didn't really we weren't really friends, but we didn't hate each other either, so I didn't have a problem with her, although I would have liked to have had a roommate that I was, like, kind of good friends with, and we, like, hung out a little bit, but it wasn't bad for first year. So, for class experience, I go to a private college, so it's a lot smaller than Sam's state college. The biggest class I had was 30. I don't have, like, big lectures like she does. I mean, I personally knew all the teachers. They knew me by name. You know, if I had a problem, I could always, like, go to them. I could email them. I could just go to their office and just talk to them, which is really nice. But I never really had too much trouble with, like, any of my classes. I've liked most of my teachers, except for one, but it was also because I hate sociology, so it was also kind of like, she teaches sociology, I don't really like her as much as my other teachers. But, yeah, I had one teacher who was actually retired. I didn't know you could still teach when you were retired.
I didn't either, but I had one, too.
But, yeah, he had my morning class first semester for my math class, and I have to say, he has been my favorite teacher so far. I haven't gotten another class with him, sadly. I really want to have another class with him because he's like older, but he's funny in a way that he tries to be funny, and he's not funny, and I'm just like cracked up like so much because of it. It was the best algebra class I've ever had.
So my classes, they, I think my smallest class was, what is my second? I think I had 26 in second semester English. So that was my smallest. This coming up semester, I think my smallest is 50. I'm not sure. I don't know what classes I'm taking. But I think 50 is my smallest one. And, like, I didn't know any of my teachers personally. And the big lecture halls, okay, so this one, I had Psych last year, Psych 101, and it was literally in, like, the back of the building, like, down 15 flights of steps, not really. But I literally had no idea where I was going. So the first time I was walking to class, there was like 2 kids in front of me. I'm like, maybe they're going to the same room. So I just followed them all the way there, and we took like 6 turns. There was the room, but yeah. And then I think my biggest class was 400, which was biology for majors, which I absolutely hated. But that was my biggest class. Oh, and my first semester English teacher, he was retired. I did not like him at all. He was so mean to me. He picked on me and this one other girl, like, all the time. Just because I didn't talk in class, because I didn't want to talk in class. And then I had a history class before I dropped it. He got upset when we didn't talk to each other. Like, we had like 5 minutes before class started, and he goes, "Why aren't you guys talking to each other? Like, we don't want to talk to each other." Yeah, but, I mean, for the most part, I've liked my classes. I just don't like the subjects. So, that's my problem with college.
It's the learning part.
The learning part.
Oh, gosh.
I don't like learning. Going into college, I thought there was going to be no drama because it's not high school anymore and we're supposed to all be mature, but that was not the case at all. Like, we never got in drama in high school, and I didn't really get into this drama in college. I was just kind of dragged into it by about 3 other people. I didn't have that much roommate drama, except for we had, like, how many weeks of school? I don't know, like 3 or 4 weeks of school left, and she's Skyping her boyfriend at, midnight while I was trying to sleep. So I think she thought I was asleep, and she's just talking about how she has 0 friends.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody likes her here, even though I was her friend, and we had another best friend, and 2 more before, but that was drama as well. And we don't talk to them anymore. But she was just going on about how she doesn't have any friends, and I was, like, sitting right across, or I was laying down, right across from her, and, like, she was just saying this, and I was like, okay, that's cool. In conclusion, she transferred out of the school. She's going to a different college now.
Oh, gosh.
First semester of college, there was 5 of us that hung out together because we met at, like, I guess, like a church thing that happens. And we had this leader who is not a good leader.
He's like, I met him once, and it was awkward. He's awkward. I mean, I'm awkward too, but it wasn't just my awkwardness.
He's a college minister, so he's supposed to be able to talk to people, and we all thought he was better off as a kid's teacher.
Yeah.
And none of the adults would listen to us because he's the adult, so, like, and he always thought he was right. But anyways, with the 5 of us, there was drama between us that I got pulled into because the 2 boys, they're dicks. And they were being, they were just really mean to one of my best friends. And so we were having, the leader made us have this, what do you call it?
It's like counseling.
Yeah, counseling. And like, I had nothing to do with this, but he's like, Sam, you have to be there. I was like, excuse me? And he's like, yeah, it's best if everybody involved is there. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm not involved, but whatever you say. So I got dragged into counseling. It was awful.
So if you are not outgoing like me, college is going to be a little bit more difficult. I had a friend in the beginning who was in a band for our school, so he traveled a lot, and I didn't really get to see him as much. And then I met someone else through him, and I was like, we can be friends, and let me tell you, always have more than one friend. I only had one friend, and that caused, it honestly, pretty much caused, all the drama I was in. She's crazy.
Very crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Think of the craziest person you know, and times 10. That crazy.
Yeah, I had some things that don't really upset me or bother me. It's just kind of I don't want to hear about it. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care who you're doing. Just don't tell me. Okay? I told her more than once. She would bring it up and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Just don't tell me anything in the future because I honestly don't care. But she continued to tell me over and over again, and it just got to the point where I would sit there and just not listen because I just didn't care. She also did not drive like you should. She drove with her knees.
While texting.
And Snapchatting. So.
How she didn't get in a crash,
I
have no idea.
I don't know either. She scared the crap out of me, and I never wanted to drive with her ever again. Only problem is, she liked to drive, and she wouldn't really let me drive when we went anywhere. So, that was frightening. Really, really scary. Don't text and drive.
And Snapchat and drive.
And don't drive with your knees and not look at the road.
Eyes on the road.
Hands on the wheel.
At least one hand.
At least.
Overall, we both had really good experiences with our freshman year. It was better than I thought it was going to be, because in high school I was scared to go to college, but it wasn't actually that bad.
Yeah. It's definitely harder, but it's not so hard. You get out of college and you're just, you get out of high school and you're just not going to be able to do college.
Yeah.
You definitely have to work for it, but it's not an impossible thing to do.
Yeah. You do have to study, though.
Definitely.
Because if you don't study, you're not going to get the grades you want. In high school, maybe you could, we were like that, we could just study right before the test and make all A's.
Yeah.
College is nothing like that. You actually have to study, which I learned the hard way.
I learned the hard way,
Thanks,
too.
biology for majors. Shout out to you.
Yeah. And also, there's going to be classes that you're just going to get by on, which was my problem with sociology. I studied. I actually did. And I tried my hardest, but I wasn't understanding it. And it wasn't the teacher's fault. It was just, I cannot understand sociology. So I got the grade that I needed to pass, and I'm happy with that.
B's and C's are okay. Then
Which there's nothing wrong with getting A's either.
No,
but if you can get A's, go for it.
Get A's, but if you can't, B's and C's are okay.
We're happy with B's and C's. That's the end of this video. Thumbs up if you liked it.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye. Hey. For this video, we're going to be talking about...
I just smacked my hand. That was so good! I'm sorry, let's go again.
Okay. That laugh choked me up. And we both had those... Didn't you have kind of a freshman week kind of thing?
Week of welcome, yeah.
Yeah, because we had that too. I don't remember, anything. I remember I got to pet a kangaroo. That's the only thing I remember.
You petted a kangaroo?
They had...
Is petted a word?
Petted? Did I say petted?
I said petted.
I don't know.
I don't really know what to talk about.
I don't know either.
Okay, for my... I don't want to say K, I'm sorry. I'm going to cry. What am I saying?
I don't know.
I go to a big state college. I'm sorry.
I was gonna laugh because you're like big. I was like, what? My arm itches so much. So many bug bites now. I think I'll shut up. Okay.